Hello everyone, and welcome to another Thomas Wooden Railway review. Today's item is the Sam and the Great Bell set, released in 2015 and discontinued in 2017. This set was part of the Sodor Story Collection, Mattel's line of premium wooden railway sets. When Mattel acquired the Thomas brand in 2012, retailers were concerned that they were going to cheapen the wood railway brand by adding more plastic. And Mattel said, yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. If you want sets with more wood, you can pay an upcharge for our new premium sets, the Sodor Story Collection. These sets included picture books with new stories and characters that the story sets themselves were based on. The story sets were an improvement from Mattel's standard set line, which was dominated by basic figure 8 and single circuit loop sets. The only interesting sets from this era are ones made by Learning Curve that Mattel updated, and the yearly sets based on the current Thomas movie. But still, those sets usually had a basic design and only one circuit of track. So, was the Sam set a worthy addition to the Sodor Story Collection? Let's find out.
Howdy, I'm Sam.
Hello, I'm Thomas.
First, let's just take it all in. I think it's important for a train set to give a good first impression. You want it to look good and grab your attention. I think back to all those times I looked at the old pamphlets and yearbooks to see sets that I wanted. Boring loops and figure 8s never enticed me, but sets like the Lift and Load set looked like so much fun. The Sam set immediately grabs your attention with the big bell tower centerpiece. The tower and the mountain behind it are really eye-catching and remind me of the old mountain tunnel item. After that, though, we have the Ironworks, which was able to be bought separately, and that's it. For characters, we have an exclusive Muddy Percy and Sam himself, who has a really cool design. There's also one cargo car to pull, but there's two pieces of cargo. The circuitry here is okay, I suppose. You have one loop of track that goes up and around the mountain, past the tower, and another that goes through the tower and around to the Ironworks. Two T-switches allow engines to travel from loop to loop and turn around. You may have noticed something special about the track in this set. The railroad ties are painted gold and shimmer in the light. This is to make the set feel more special and coincide with Thomas's 70th anniversary. This is a nice touch, and I like it.
Would you be able to help me get to the museum?
Sure thing.
Let's take a look at each piece individually, starting with the big bell tower. This tower is very tall and impressive. It represents the archway into the Sodor Museum in the storybook. The main feature of the tower is a pulley with magnets on it. The titular Great Bell can be picked up and lifted to the top of the bell tower. A magnet on the other end of the string connects to this platform on the side of the tower that holds the bell in place. Now that the bell has been raised, you can push the button on top, which plays a bell ringing sound. This is a cool play feature, but in the book, it's Sam that lifts the bell up. That's kind of the climax of the story. If the string was longer and there was a siding here, Sam could pull the string and lift the bell up like in the book. And then you can place the magnet on the shelf or on a magnetic buffer or something. But this is not the case. The tower is a good centerpiece, but it makes me wonder, why all the plastic? Usually I'm not one to care about the amount of plastic in my wooden railway items, but this is a special case. This is the Sodor Story Collection, the premium line of sets. The whole concept is that there's more wood than usual, so why is there so much plastic here? The green roof can stay plastic, it has a mechanism in it, whatever. The walls though, the bottom's already wood, why not just extend this up? Now we have painted brick detail that abruptly becomes unpainted. The front and back could have been wood too. Surely it wouldn't have been too hard to make an archway with the stones, brick, and the lamp just painted on. While we're on the topic of plastic, let's take a look at the Ironworks. This thing should be called the Plastic Works because, as you can see, the destination is 90% plastic. The only part made of wood is the roof, which is this thin, flat square. Why would Mattel take this item that is 90% plastic and put it in a premium set marketed for having more wood than plastic? The worst part of plastic involved here is this little knob on the track meant to lock into the ironworks. This is pretty bad because it doesn't stick and just slides out. I don't know if this is because I got mine used or not, but this really bothers me. This item is okay, I guess. I kinda like it. It has decent detail all around, giving us a look inside the ironworks, and I really like this molded slag bubbling on top of the bucket. When you tip the bucket, it lights up and makes sounds. You can take the bell and load it in the back and then tip the bucket, simulating it being forged in the foundry. Then, you can tip the red ramp up and load it into the cargo car to take it to the museum. At least they give you a cargo car here. If you were to buy the Ironworks destination by itself, it comes with a piece of iron cargo, but no cargo car. What? I skipped over the mountain because it doesn't have that much plastic, which is nice. This is the part of the set that I was the most excited about. I actually didn't know how the set worked, and I thought that the track goes through the tower, like the mountain tunnel, but this isn't the case. Instead, it goes behind it. A bit of a letdown for me, but it would be hard for the tower to work with the track going through it, so it's okay. The track on top of the mountain has a knob that slots into the tower, just like with the ironworks. This one has the opposite problem though. It's a really tight fit. Locking the tower in place causes it to scrape against the mountain, and it buckles all of the tracks. This mountain piece has some nice detail. On one side, we have the new Sodor Museum under construction. I really like this, even though these troublesome trucks look really weird. The other side of the mountain shows us the Blue Mountain Quarry, which is briefly shown in the story. We see more troublesome trucks, these ones with faces, Owen, some cranes, sheds, and Luke's tunnel that he hides in Blue Mountain Mystery. That's a cool detail that they put Oh, they also put Luke himself here. And Peter Sam. Longtime fans of this channel know that I am not a fan of Mattel putting engines on the walls of destinations like this. Are they talking to themselves? Are there clones? Oddly placed murals? These engines are merely a nitpick, but this mountain does have a glaring issue with it that really bothers me. It connects to the tower, but if we take the tower away, it's held together with a piece of 3-inch straight track. This gap is hideous, so let's put the pieces together. Oh, you can't. There's a plastic tab under the track connector that prevents you from putting the two mountain pieces together. One of the reasons I wanted this set was to see what the mountain looked like connected, but it's impossible to do, unless you were to file this tab down, I guess. This is as close as I could get the pieces lined up together. The museum looks really good, but the pictures do not line up at all on the Blue Mountain Quarry side. Let's take a look at those cargo pieces. This plastic bell is okay. If it was wood, it would probably be too heavy for the function to work. It would be cool if the clapper was inside or molded on the bottom, since this is just a piece of plastic, but it's okay. If the bottom was not flat, then the bell would probably just be rolling around, so it needs to be able to stand up. This cargo box is really cool. It's golden and says 70th anniversary, established 1945. And it has a little Thomas on it. I don't know what could be in here, maybe something for a Railway Series exhibit in the museum? That's the beauty of the cargo box. It could be anything that you want. But there's no beauty in the stock standard cargo car. Man, you know, someone should really make a replacement for that. Something that looks just like the ones in the show and can easily be bought online and customized. If only. Let's take a look at the accessories. This signal gantry for Sudbury Junction is I wish it was bigger so that you could fit 2 tracks under it, and I also wish that these signals could move up and down and not be entirely green. Again, this is a lot of plastic. Next, we have this Blue Mountain Quarry sign. It's neat. And that's it. There's no other accessories.
We're all really useful engines, Thomas. We all have our own strengths.
Now, there is a big chunk of plastic involved with this set, but that's not the only problem I have with it. One of the biggest problems here is Sam himself. Because of his design making him the longest engine in the wooden railway range, Sam has a large gap between his bogies, which, may I say, are plastic. Plastic bogies are a thing Mattel began in 2013 for the tender engines, which also applies to exclusive premium engines in exclusive premium sets. The plastic here isn't the issue though, it's the gap. Sam looks cool, but he's definitely made for form over function. You have to really guide him with your hand on the curves and switches. You can't just push him, because he will very easily come off the tracks. Sam also gets stuck on the hill, and you have to force him up. He looks kinda cool sitting up at the top, but if you let him go, this can be fun, but you don't want to scratch up your exclusive item. I don't have footage for this part, but I did try putting curved wall pieces at the bottom of the hill, just like the ones in the Dustin set. I actually did use the ones in the Dustin set, and Sam just kind of crashed into them. He didn't stay on the curve, so I would recommend using a larger piece. My other issue with this set is that it feels empty. First, we only have 2 accessories, nothing else. I think this set could have used a lot more, like a Sir Topham Hatt figure, some construction workers, and most importantly, it's a tree! And there's not a single one to be found, which goes for about 95% of the Mattel sets. Also, this set feels empty because it feels incomplete. Take a look at it from this side. This whole quadrant is empty. It feels like the track could have easily been extended to connect here, but we got nothing, and it just kinda caves in.
Thomas liked Sam already, and they soon became best friends.
So, what are my final thoughts? Well, Sam and the Great Bell is more like Sam and the Great L. Sam struggles to get around his own set, and one half of the main destination can't work by itself. The other destination is one that you could buy by itself. The lack of accessories and other destinations and characters make the set feel empty. This doesn't feel premium, just barely above a regular Mattel era set. This set cost $250 and was only available online and at certain specialty stores that carried the Sodor Story collection. Yes, some of this cost is for a hardcover book, but I don't think it's worth it. Sam and the Story collection characters can be bought with their books for only $50, which is still expensive, but I think is the better choice. Sam and this set are very hard to come by. I got very lucky when I found it in a lot with the Dustin set and some other engines for a little over $100. If I could be brutally honest and describe the set in one word, it would be mid. Just mid. My advice is to buy the Mountain Tunnel instead, and then keep an eye out for Sam if you really want him. I was very lucky to get Sam, Dustin, and Logan's book packs back in 2016. They're all much harder to come by now. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you for sticking around. Let me know what you think of the Sam set in the comments below. This is the first set review that I've done in a long time, and depending on how this goes, I may try to do more. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.